Michael E. Parker here, and do you ever wonder about how do you keep your mind in a good, positive wavelength and keep your mind on the right things so you don't feel down, you don't have things that's pulling you out of that something that makes you want to achieve more, be successful? You know, we all have this struggle of how do we keep our thoughts in the right place, keep our mind in the right place, stay focused on success. You know, no matter how good we try to do things, there's always this little subtle drip. There's always this gravity pulling us down. It's just life. But how do you begin to keep your mind above that? And today we're talking about the sound of success, right? And what the song the anthem that the successful sing. And so I want to talk to you. I am Michael E. Parker. We are here back for another session. And I want to welcome all of you that are tuning in live with me and all of you that will see this later. Listen, it is so important to keep our mind in the right place, to stay focused. And there's nothing more powerful than music itself. You know, music is something that we all can relate to. I don't care what background, I don't care what ethnicity, I don't care where you live, what geography you're from. All of us relate to some form of music, something that is so powerful. It can penetrate through so many different things, even a bad day, even how you feel, even things that might be on your mind. It can penetrate all of that. And that's why we're so, grateful, but it has to be used the right way. Now, I want to tell you something. So first and foremost, if you're new to the channel, I want you to make sure and do all the YouTube-y stuff, subscribe, comment, like, do all of that good stuff to make sure you keep getting content from URCO and Michael E. Parker. Now, when you think about URCO, we're always talking about how important it is to have a positive mindset. It's one of the key elements that we talk about in all that we do. Having your mind in the right place, understanding the connection between what you think and what you feel, driving what you do, which leads to the results and outcomes in your life. And so if you don't have control of what is running through your mind every single day, every single moment, you don't really have control of yourself. So if you want to control your business, if you want to control your family, if you want to control being able to be a good leader, a good person, a good man, a good woman, a good brother, a good father, a good sister, a good mother, you have to be conscious of what's going on in your head. Now, because of this, when we talk about the sound of success, we talk about the anthem that the successful sing. Now, I want to tell you about an anthem that is very important to all of us here at URCO. But before I do, I want to really talk about how the power of music really impacts the brain. Now, you all know there's many elements to the brain, right? We got the frontal lobe and the occipital lobe. We got the hypothalamus. We got the amygdala and all these nuances that the brain has. Now, let's go to my whiteboard for a minute. You can see here, we have a pretty creative brain here. And I want you to know music impacts all elements of the brain. And when you think about the brain, even in this frontal area here, there's a big area. We talk about the frontal lobe, and I'm not going to go to all the different elements of the brain, but ironically, there's, when you think about what we see, like eyesight and what we see, it's really coming from the back of the brain, right? And there's so much more in this brain, right? The way we comprehend, right, is in the brain. The way that we interpret language, right? That is all inside the brain. We have how we process and feel emotion, right, is in the brain. And I can go on and on, right? We got, analytical, not that these are the exact areas of the brain, but I was talking about different things that the brain can do. And think about it, music pretty much impacts all of the things that the brain does. Did you know that the brain, music is actually able to help people, be able to process time better, be able to control their emotions. It can help people with Parkinson's and with, dementia. People often refer to music to really help stimulate memory. Music will stimulate memory, and it shows because of the connection to music and the emotional connection to music. You actually can, stir up feelings, right? From the sound of music, you can remember where you were when you heard that. You can remember something you went through. You can go on a mental journey. You can jump light years in your life just by hearing a song, the way that it makes you feel, or remembering how it made you feel when you first heard it. So music is very powerful. And because we understand this, we understand the power of music, and we also understand how critical it is to keep our mind on the right thing, how to stay positive, how to keep our energy in the right place. When I was setting out to tell the world about You Are a CEO and let everyone know that You Are a CEO is something that every single person must have in their life. We believe everyone is a CEO of their life and can take charge of their personal success. This is a leadership accelerator that helps you first become a self-leader, and through that self-leadership, then becoming a leader in many other areas of your life, right? And some of the ones that are most popular, of course, is entrepreneurship, being a professional, right? The things that we have to go out and use to make money to provide for our families. So you want to be able to exhibit leadership and demonstrate leadership in those areas because it's so directly related to us fulfilling our things and our dreams and the things that are important to us. But we also have to be leaders in our home and in our community and in so many other ways. So the principles of You Are a CEO are very broad. They reach very broad, but we apply them to specific groups because we know the results that they can get that end up in more wealth and wellness. Now, in better relationships. Now, I want you to consider something for a minute. Now, it was some time ago. I remember I was thinking about You Are a CEO. This was some years ago, and I actually started to, and some of you may not know, but I really love music. I like to play music. I like to sing sometimes. I have, growing constantly on the piano, play a little drums. I started off playing a little saxophone, but, I need to get back to that, and very lot of rust on that, but always trying to learn more on the piano, always trying to learn more on the drums. Love working with, music and working with the band and some of the church communities that I do work in. And, it's always a pleasure to be with them and watch their arts and their talents and even grow from them. And then participating as well, writing songs, it's something to see a song come together. I've written many songs, predominantly, more spiritual songs, but, I appreciate, all songs that are really, well written, have meaning. And we've seen that all throughout, our journeys as humans. We've seen that, right? And so I wanted to apply, even some of my, thinking about You Are a CEO, as well as my love for music, to actually writing a song for You Are a CEO. So I began to think about a song and how could I write a song? What would it sound like and what would the message be? Because we're talking about You Are a CEO. And all at once the song started to come to me. I start to hear the tune. I start to hear different instruments, start to hear, the beat and the bass line and how the whole thing would come together, and I got some friends of mine that I knew could do the part in terms of singing, as well as the musicians that could do it, and, good, friends that can go in and, make sure we mix everything down and get the perfect mix. And we started to work on this, and out of this came something that is a song that I really, really appreciate, and I call it the anthem of the successful, right? Because when you understand the depth of what the song is communicating and really look deeper, you'll see that there's things in it that if you begin to allow those things to hit your brain every now and then, it'll remind you of what this is all about and what we are all trying to do. So I want to walk through some of the words to this song. I want you to now this is not in any order, it's just some of the words. Some of these are verses and vamps and choruses and so forth, but we're not going to get into all the musical detail of that. But I want you just to notice some of the words. Now, let's go to my whiteboard here. And these are part of the words. One thing you see here is I've got to manage myself. Now, I want you to really think about that. A lot of times people think they need to manage a lot of different things, manage time, manage their health, manage money. But really, most of the time, the issue is we need to manage ourselves. We need to manage who we are. We need to manage and constrain our emotions. We need to be able to manage what we are trying to accomplish and why. We need to manage our insecurities. We need to manage our background at times, the things that might be in our memory that could affect how we see the future. So managing ourselves is extremely important. So we talk about this a lot in URCO. We talk about self-awareness. Being self-aware. You can't manage what you can't see. So we talk about that, being self-aware. I've got to manage myself. Let's go a little bit deeper. I've got to manage my mind, right? Now, we all know that your mind is just always running all day long. We literally have about 70,000 thoughts a day. Now, I want you to think about that. That is some serious need for management. Now, how many of you even had, 7 people to manage on a team, or 70 people? I've had teams of 200 or so people throughout my companies were at one time, and managing all those companies and responsibilities is a lot. But imagine 70,000 little people in your head trying to remind you of the things that sometimes is not good. Sometimes taking you down journeys that is not profitable to you. Sometimes trying to get you to be down, discouraged. We all have those ants in our mind, which is automatic negative thoughts. So let's look at that there. And you all have heard this before. We're talking about automatic negative thoughts. And this is something that is very, very key, is we automatically, without any support, will think negative. Now, negative doesn't mean that you're thinking about robbing a bank or hurting somebody. It just means our brain is wired to preserve itself from danger or anything it think could hurt you. It's a self-preserving brain. And sometimes the things we perceive as danger is not, or perceive as hurt is not, but it's because of something we went through, something we came through, something that hurt us, that we tend to think that this is a reminder of that same thing, and it's coming again, it's coming after me. This person is going to do to me what someone else did to me. This person is going to hurt me like someone else hurt me. Or we start to doubt. Our fear of failing can stop us from trying, right? For example, because we have failed before at something else. So it stops us from taking that next step. We have to manage this mind that begins to think this way. Now, I love how the song says here, the task is not easy, right? The task is not easy, right? So you can't just say, hey, just do it. Use willpower. There's got to be something more. But I love in this whole, song here, we put a but here, which is to say, even though it's not easy, although it's not easy, although I understand the struggle, right? It's still incumbent upon me to climb to higher heights. To higher heights I climb. So to have this situation that is able to acknowledge the problem, but say, I still am going to climb to higher heights. And, all of us have to be able to do this. Yes, we had a problem. Yes, we had a challenging day. Yes, there's some issues at work we don't like. Yes, there's things in our bank account that we wish was different. Yes, there's some struggles with our health. But what are you going to do when you realize that you can't change those things, and how you feel about those things is under your control? As the old saying goes, when you change how you look at things, the things you look at change. So this is what we want to begin to be able to do. So you can see this is just the first part of the song. This is very powerful, right? One of the areas of the song. Now, let's go to another area of the song. And the song says here, I'm determined to succeed, right? Now, we know that determined is a relentless pursuit of something, right? To be relentless, determined to succeed. Sometimes we just don't want it enough. We just don't want to really have that thing to where we'll let nothing stop us from having it. You know, that's what we have to get to, that point where I'm determined to grow in my career. I'm determined to lose weight. I'm determined to lower my A1C. I'm determined to reduce my blood pressure. I'm determined to be able to start my business. I'm determined to go from 100,000 a year to 200,000 a year in my business. I'm determined, right? We have to have that determination. And success is something that is defined by you. And here at URSL, we believe that success is achieving things while maintaining your happiness. And that is achieving things important to you. Achieving things important to you. So success cannot be defined by someone else. It must be defined by you. It determines, it's what you're trying to do. It's what you're trying to accomplish. What is that for you? To be honest about the things that you really have on your success board, right? Your success to-do list. If you don't have one of those, how can you achieve something that you've not actually declared as something you want to achieve? And then once you achieve it, there's got to be a determined mind that will not turn back when things get tough. And that leads us to the next part of this, right? Get me another color here. Now, another key element of this is that we want no excuses, right? I'm determined to succeed, so no excuses, please, right? Let me underline that again 3 times there. We don't need no excuses, right? We don't want anything that will make an excuse not to succeed. Now, we might have challenges along the way. We might have obstacles along the way. But we will not make an excuse. We will continue to push toward that goal and push toward that achievement. And it starts with a mind that is determined to succeed and does not want to make any excuses. Now, this next part is very important. It says, if you don't want success in life. Now, this is important because this has to do with the people around you, right? And sometimes those people, right, they have the wrong perception of, you know, what they are able to do. They have a negative energy about them. And because someone doesn't believe that they can start a business that can make $1 million a year, they put those fears on you. They project that on you because they don't feel that they're able to accomplish that goal with their health. They project that negativity on you. They give you their doubt. They give you their fear. And now you got to deal with your own fear and their fear. So you have to have something in you that says, if you don't want to be successful in life, right? There's a lot in here. It's the willingness to admit that there could be someone around you that is not best for you. You have to know who you can be around for what. And you have to know how much of the seeds that come out of their mouth and out of their brain, out of their thoughts, you allow to be planted into your brain, into your thoughts. You have to be conscious of who you allow to influence you. You have to be conscious, there's some people you can rely on for certain things. They might be good for certain things. Someone's an athlete, someone's a musician, someone is a coworker. But you got to know how to compartmentalize some of your relationships and know, I'll listen to you for this, but don't ever try to tell me about what I'm going to do in my business and whether or not I can win or not, because you don't have the right mindset about that. You're great about this, but please don't tell me how to raise my children. You don't know how to raise kids for sure. I'm watching what you're doing, right? So you have this filter that is able to be careful of who you allow to tell you what and when and how often, because you are conscious of seeds that are planted. People can plant things in your mind. Now, once you say if you don't want to be successful in life, it's also critical, right? Very critical that you are also able to say, that if that is your choice, right? If your choice is to not be successful in life, then I do not want in any way you to hinder what I'm trying to do. So it's a one thing to identify them, right? To identify if you don't want to be successful in life, right? To first identify who are those people that don't want to be successful in life, right? And they might not say those words, but they're saying it with their behavior. They're saying it with their actions. They're always getting into the wrong thing. If you're a young person out there, don't be afraid to separate from other young people that's not trying to do the right thing. They're not really trying to walk the right way. They're not trying to be about something that's actually going to take them to the next level as an adult, as a professional one day, as someone that's going to have a trade. Don't be afraid to cut them off. Don't be afraid as adults, I don't care what age group you're in, to let someone know you're not going to let them destroy your future, right? You're not going to let them persuade you into the wrong thing, right? So we're letting them know, if you don't want to be successful in life, then don't hinder me. Don't stop me from going where I'm trying to go. Very, very powerful, right? Very, very strong. It's not just identifying, but actually saying, don't hinder me. So what's good is in this, these words, these lyrics here, right? These lyrics of the successful here, we are actually getting here to this part of a conversation that is taking place. So the song shifts for a minute. I'm determined to succeed, so no excuses, please. I'm talking to myself there. I don't want any internal voices that's stopping me from succeeding. I don't want to allow my own thoughts, my own negativity, my own fears to stop me from being able to rise above that. Right? So that has to be in me. Then the conversation switches to who's around me. Right? If you don't want to be successful in life, right? Now I have to have the courage not only to tell myself I don't want to hear no excuses. I got to tell someone else, don't you try to hinder me from going where I'm trying to go. Very, very critical. Now, let's go to another element of the song here. And we have another area of this song here. All right. The time is here to celebrate. Now, here is where we talk about a positive mindset, right? To understand the time is here shows also, right, an urgency, right? So don't let them tell you have time to get this right later. We don't have time to waste away. We don't have time. I've often told some people that have not achieved enough with their health, enough in their business, enough in their ability to generate wealth for their family. Some people have not qualified to watch that much television. They haven't qualified to play video games for that long. They can't be scrolling on Instagram for that long. You haven't qualified to do that. The time is here to do something else. There's an urgency here to create some success in your life. And so we have to see that urgency, but we also have to see that we have to be willing to celebrate the things that are working, the things that we are doing. Celebrate the small wins. So celebrate here also has to do with small wins. So don't always look for getting the degree. Sign up for the class and, take the first quiz and celebrate, getting a B on that quiz, an A on that quiz, right? A C if you tried your hardest. It doesn't matter. We have to find a way to celebrate. I want to lose 20 pounds, but celebrate that half pound that you lost too, right? That half pound is important. We have to celebrate the small wins. I want to get further in my profession. I want to move up from a specialist to being a director, but celebrate that good review you got this year, right? On the way of your journey to becoming a director one day. We have to learn how to do that. And as you can see here, it says success is calling, right? Now, this has to be our mindset. That success is calling us. You ever have your phone ring and you wonder, well, who is that? Well, listen, I want you to imagine success is calling, right? That I have to actually believe that success is calling me. What do I mean by that? That there is an internal voice within me. There is something in my heart and in my mind that believes I can succeed. And every single day I hear my own commitment to being successful. I realize that within me is enough talent, is enough skill, is enough potential, is enough ability to be and to become whatever I need to become the success that is actually within my heart to achieve. So I have to hear that call. I can't listen to the wrong thoughts and voices about my ability to get there. But I got to make sure I have realistic goals as well. Success should be defined by something that you really know is the right path for you. Don't try to be someone else or do something else that is not aligned with your values or with what's best for you. But when you nail that, you got to go after it. You have to hear that call, right? And what also this call has to do with recognizing opportunity, right? Recognizing opportunity. You know, someone told you, hey, I'll let you come and do this and come sit with us. We go over here. And you said, no, I don't have time. Well, success was calling. Someone told you, I'll come over and help and tutor you in that class you're having problems with. You was too embarrassed to admit you needed help. Success was calling. When you found out, about, programs and things like you are a CEO and some of the things available there, and you said, well, I didn't look into it deeper. Success was calling. When you begin to hear someone begin to tell you something about yourself that you need to change, that is giving you a limited belief and not allowing you to rise above that limit so you can be more successful, success was calling through mentorship, advice, by being willing to be coached, people to tell you the truth sometimes. Did you realize that success was calling? And look what it says here. So don't be late. So sometimes we were too late to recognize opportunity, right? But we have to tell ourselves, don't be late. Don't be late to the appointment for your own success. If there was ever an appointment to not miss, it's the opportunities for you to be great, the opportunities for you to achieve, the opportunities for you to finally rise above that thing that has had you pinned down for years, stopping you from getting where you want to go. And so that environment, right, that you have to create around you, at URCL, we talk about environment-based leadership development, but that environment first starts right in the mind. And we have to have that environment. Now, last but not least, the song makes it clear you are a CEO. So I like this because at this point, the song is singing to you to not forget who you are, right? So in essence, you are in charge. You are the decision maker, right? That's what we mean by a CEO. You are the executive of your decisions. You decide what you're going to think about and how long you think about it. You can't stop it from coming, but you decide how long you're going to think about that. You decide if you're going to get up to every single day and give an effort or not give an effort. You decide if you're going to work out when you know you need to work out, when you know you need to get back on your fitness regimen. You decide if you're going to turn a blind eye to some of the things you need to improve in your eating habits. You decide if you're going to read the book, if you're going to watch the video, if you're going to go to the program that you know will take you to the next level, or if you're going to act like it's not there and you're going to just pine away in your own thoughts, or if you're going to get up and do something. You decide that. That's why we say you are a CEO. Now, here's the key. Let the whole world know this is what creates accountability. When you let everybody know that you are a CEO, you just told them, I don't make no excuses. You just told them who's responsible for you to succeed. You just told them who has the power to overcome the obstacles that's going to come up in life. So when we embrace this and we begin to let our commitment to ourselves be known, we hold ourselves accountable, but we empower others to do the same. Right? We empower others to do the same. I hope you can see here the power that is in this song, You Are a CEO. And at this time, before I come back with some final thoughts, we're going to take time to listen to the song. I want you to listen to it. I want you to watch the visuals, let your brain kind of come alive, interpret the voices, the language, listen to the music and the tunes, see the visuals, and process it all. Some of you have seen this many times, but just look at it one more time. Listen to it from a different perspective. Think deeply about what we've talked about. And as you listen to that, I want you to think about yourself and all the possibilities that are in front of you. And then we're going to talk about how to close this out, because this is the anthem of the successful. I'll be right back.
I've got to manage myself. I've got to manage my mind. The task is not easy, but to higher heights I climb.
I'm determined to succeed, so no excuses, please. If you don't want success in life, then don't hinder me. Yes, let the whole world know. I'm a CEO.
I've got to manage myself. Got to manage my mind. The task is not easy, but to higher heights I climb.
I'm determined to succeed, so no excuses, please. If you don't want success in life, then don't hinder me. You are a CEO. Yes, let the whole world know. You are a CEO. Yes, yes. You are a CEO. You are a CEO. You are a CEO.
right, I hope you enjoyed the URCO anthem, and that is the anthem of the successful. And that's what we are talking about. I want to leave you with one more final thought as we close out. Let's go to my whiteboard here, and I want you to remember something, that your life is your song. I want you to remember this. Your life is your song. And there's a melody to your life, right? A main point, a main meaning. You know, what is your life saying? Your life is saying something. In other words, you are creating a reputation for something, right? You are your brand. You talk about running the business of you. There's a brand that you're creating. What does your name mean, right? What's your melody? You know, there's a chorus, right? That, you know, is associated with your life. Right? The main, message and how it all comes together, many parts to come together to say that. There's some verses in there, right? That is in your life, right? Different verses and things that have taken place that tell sub-stories within your story, right? There's something in music called a vamp. Right? Some unexpected turns that a song can take to, heighten the message of a song, right? It kind of deviates from the main chorus, but it begins to add a unexpected element. Well, what is that in your life? And when you begin to put all these things together, and there's much more we could say here, but you put this all together and you start to understand. And don't forget, we have to add in here, we got to do this especially for our drums in here. You also have rhythm, right? And rhythm is another important element. And we talk about not life balance, but life rhythm, because your life can never be fully in balance. You can't equally do everything to all things. But there's a rhythm your life moves in. There's a song you sing at different times in your life, but make sure that song is always saying success. Make sure that song is always saying achievement. Make sure that song is always saying, I can try again. I can work hard again. I can make it happen again. And so I want to leave that with you. Remember that. Control the song that you're singing by the life that you live. And we are at URCO. I am Michael E. Parker. I hope you enjoyed this session. Please make sure and do all the YouTube stuff. Make sure you comment and subscribe and leave a comment. Share these videos from our channel. We got some wonderful content coming up for you next. So make sure you are always here getting everything you can out of URCO. And so I want to leave all of these things with you and really think about this and apply it to your day-to-day life. And remember, whether you have a business, whether you are a leader at different areas of the community, make sure whatever you do, that you find your song and you sing it loud and you attach yourself to this anthem of the successful, because that is what you can create when you keep your mind in the right place. I'll see you soon. From URCO and Michael E. Parker, we can't wait to see you again.